It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Moggetso madume ke ya re go dumedisa gape re go amogele le go la go le dumisang ke leo Expresso on SABC3. We're talking about childhood development and what too much screen time could possibly do to your child in terms of their development, whether physical, whether neurological, whether emotional. We've got a caller on the line right now ready to give us a comment there, Kerry. I believe it's Puben from Durban.
Morning, Kev.
Thank you so much for the call. What is your comment, sir?
Well, basically, after listening to what's been said, I believe that most parents or people want to keep up with the current trend of society. Mm-hmm. That is one of the reasons we hand our kid at the age of 1.5, a tablet to make sure that, you know what, they're keeping up and look the part of the current trend and what we see is happening in the world around us today, not realizing the long-term effects of what we are doing today for our kids.
That's a very, very relevant point that you're making there. And I mean, no parent wants to have their child left behind in the technological gap.
Not
Kerry.
at all.
Yes.
No, sure. And I think in this day and age, I think almost every person has access to a cell phone. It's unbelievable. I mean, so yes, it is a concern. But in fact, the truth of the matter is that our brains are not designed to receive that high concentration of sights and sounds at a very early age. The first 2 years of life are critical for physical development, and unless our bodies are able to calm us, so what you were saying about, you know, running around, it's really, really important that it's called the sensory motor period of development. That's when we set up the connections between the different parts of our brain. And, you know, if we're overstimulating the visual and auditory senses and not grounding ourselves with the physical part of our development, I think what we're seeing is it's leading to more and more children with attentional difficulties, children who are struggling, you know, as our teacher says, to learn how to write, learning how to read. So we're seeing a lot of learning difficulties as well.
And that then naturally also, I'm sure, leads to other social interactive problems later on in life. But here's an interesting question that I've got for you. So if one child is outside throwing a tennis ball, right, as a form of play, and another is in a living room playing a game on a screen that simulates throwing a tennis ball, what could happen from a physical development point of view to the two children, and what would be the difference?
It's really interesting, and I wasn't able to find any research on this topic, but my experience and my training says to me that early development, and certainly throwing and catching balls, demands quite a lot of different things. So it is seeing the ball coming towards you. So your eyes have to accommodate to the ball as it approaches you. If it's a simulated ball, are your eyes accommodating from far distance to close? The second part of catching and throwing a ball, or catching, is getting your body ready. So, and then, I mean, if it's a small ball or a big ball or a light ball or a heavy ball, you have to adjust your body in order to actually make the correct adaptation.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you if it's a simulated ball, you know, whether you go like this or like this, are you going to catch it or not? I'm not really sure about that.
There's no difference in the
and there's no
consequence
feedback either.
Here we go.
And there's no feedback. Wow. And your brain development depends a lot on body-brain feedback, and that reinforces the neural pathways in the brain. So I would like to watch the space and hear what the researchers say about simulated sports activities and whether they are actually doing what they profess to do.
All right. Well, not only do we want to hear from the researchers, we also want to hear from you. So we'll keep our line open on 083-9133-728 as we continue on to Ilana, and we're asking the question, is your child ready for grade 1?